Welcome, Sexy Wookiees, to another episode of the Sexy Wookiee Squadcast. We're continuing reading Star Wars Queen's Peril by E.K. Johnston, and this week we're discussing chapters 11 through 15. It's your boy, Sexy Leader.
Hey, sexy one.
Sexy too. Let's get
Let's
started, guys.
go.
All right.
Oh,
So
before we get started, yeah, I did want to pose that question that I said. So,
Ronald's got his own question. Here
no,
we
because
go.
I want to go back to the movie. I had posed it 2 weeks ago when we saw a snippet of Anakin and his mom and
Mhm.
Watto, and I said, what role did Padme have to play? And now I didn't watch episode one when I said I was gonna watch it, but I just had remembered some of the scenes, and so Padme was the way she talked to Anakin's mom. She kind of stepped in with kind of defending what Qui-Gon was, didn't want to put her son in danger.
Right.
So which brings me to what we read this week. Um, did What do you think? Did you think uh, Panaka knew when he was going to send Padme? Um, from reading this book and then to this part, like with him to send Padme with Qui-Gon, did you think like he knew that was going on, or is it still like I don't know like which handmaiden like I know them by names, but I don't know if there's a switch going on, or did he even know the switch when they went to like to meet Boss Nass in their secret hideaway when the droids
I
took over.
think so. My theory is that this book is kind of showing us the early stages of this experiment with body doubles and that
Mhm.
kind of thing, and that he picks up on it better. Like at first they were kind of trying to see if they could fool him, and then he started figuring it out. And then in these chapters that we just read, they kind of had to come to terms with each other and be like, okay, look, I know you want to do things, but you got to at least let me in on it, and then I can help you. So I think by the time we see them in the movie, like he probably has a pretty good understanding with her and the handmaidens and knows their system, and that if Padme wants to go do something, he isn't gonna stop her, but he's gonna at least do as much as he can to make sure that she's doing it safely.
Mhm.
So my guess is he always knew who was who throughout the movie, but he was keeping the secret, and he couldn't really stop her from making the switch when she wanted to. So that's my guess.
In the book from up to where we've read, I think it said that it took 3 times for him to figure it out.
Something
So
like that, yeah.
I feel like by that point in the movie, he either completely knows or for the most part he can at least guess, because in the book it said, oh, they do makeup and everything to obscure their faces even more. So maybe he's going off of like instinct, or maybe he picked up on like little tales that the girls have that can fool anyone else but him, since he's gotten to know them so well.
I'm hoping that they like come to some kind of an agreement or an understanding, and they've got a secret signal with him so that he always knows which one he's actually protecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the both of you. I think by the time the movie comes, he already kind of knows who's who, and he's on the little secret. He's within the secret already.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to kill your flavor, Jazz, but here you go.
You took
She's
me
the
by
monitor.
surprise again.
Yeah, man. Hopefully that wasn't one of your questions.
No, it wasn't. I
All
like when
right.
you guys have questions. It always adds more. I can't be the only one with questions, right?
No, gotta speculate all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, I only had 4 questions, so that was the 5th one. So thank
There
you.
you go.
I like having 5, so that's good.
It's a good number.
All right,
Let's
ready?
go.
So do you guys remember how during the dinner she had the handmaidens around with the guests? So if you guys were the handmaidens, would you rather be the one to distract the guests or the one to observe them?
People watching versus actually having to do something. I'm not opposed to either, really. Sometimes I do like to sit back and judge, you know? So there's something appealing about that. But I also like having a challenge and something to do, like a task that I'm supposed to accomplish by being there, rather than just observing. I could probably do both at the same time, honestly.
But if you had to pick one or the other,
come on, I'm like the perfect handmaiden. I could do all the things. If I had to pick one, probably to distract. That sounds more fun.
I had a feeling you'd pick that one.
Yeah.
I was just really good at conversation. You're also really good at, you know, keeping things up, keeping things positive. I'm thinking back to like every time we're at line at Disney and you would make like some story or adventure and I was like, she'd be the one to distract them.
Just to kill some time. No, and I have definitely hope the TSA isn't watching. I have definitely distracted the X-ray tech guy when my dad's contraband is going through in his backpack. He's like making you go first, and then you start talking to the guy, and then the Cuban cigars right in. Oh yeah.
FYI, that all that stuff is paid for and legal.
Completely
Disney
legal. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think I'd be great at doing both. Because just thinking that being that overachiever I am, I like to do multiple things, which can not always go the right way, but I try to do my best. But yeah, I would definitely, if you, in the book sense, I'd want to be the person who's the observer. I like to like listen in and dissect people. And then like you said, like the judging comes part of that, you know, at the end of that. So
Judging you.
You know, I don't have to tell people like what I'm judging, but you know, it's just that's my opinion. And therefore, yeah, I think I'd be a great observer. I may not catch everything, I don't think, but yeah, like I would definitely, yeah, more than have to do something where I'd have to distract people to do something that's just too much effort.
You're just talking to people.
Okay, well, we'll make a good team then. You can watch and I'll distract. And I want to say that Jasmine would
What's the
watch
outlier? What is the
and she would be making snarky notes in a notebook that then everybody would laugh at later and would be like, who even were you looking at? And she'd be like, hashtag what a hoe, hashtag those shoes with that dress, are you kidding? Like, oh yeah, that's what I'm picturing for.
So for the people watching the video, I like to take notes when writing the chapters to make up questions, and I was telling them my dumb notes.
It's so just whatever thought pops into you're just like, yeah, that's going in.
Oh, you know, I write it down. I put Darth Sidious as a hoe. I put Sabe getting it on A with a bunch of Y's.
Hey.
We stand Queen Mariak, you know, just
there you go. That would be your like note. I'd be the queen would it be afterwards like, okay, and Jasmine, what did you observe? You'd be like, well, wow.
Oh well, I filled up this entire notebook because everyone's
like,
a hoe,
this isn't helpful
and here's
information
why.
At all.
I would definitely be an observer because I am a self-described wallflower, and it's perfect because I get to just sit back, observe. I kind of blend in, which is nice. I could stand out if I need to, but I prefer to, you know, just kind of blend in and, like you said, judging. And I just like I like looking at, you know, people's reactions. I like hearing the different changes in voices and all that. So I would definitely be an observer.
Analyze.
Yes.
Very good.
I can't believe you called out my note taking.
The people need to know. The public has a right.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you another one. In all caps, I put Dad was mad. I was like, that's such a dad thing.
Dad was mad.
Dad was mad.
Yeah, I definitely want to see your notes after the dinner.
Definitely have to put that in our little note section.
Very amusing.
I like note taking, and sometimes you just gotta make it entertaining.
Perfect.
Okay, so you guys ready for our next one?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
So thoughts on how well Amidala has done as a host? Anything you would have done differently?
Not bad, not bad. She's greeting as many as she can. She's not imposing on the people who were kind of standoffish in their replies, which is good. So letting them have their space, warm up. She's got, I mean, food is very important when you want diplomacy. Everybody, the people that are eating are people that are happy, so give them all these special foods. She was thoughtful of the palate, not liking fish, this kind of thing, very thoughtful. And then time for discussion, letting everybody have a chance to talk if they want to, and then people who had nothing to say, just like, okay, you know, and not forcing anybody to try to come up with solutions on the spot, but to just at least make their concerns heard. So I thought it was very well organized and run. I would say that her major failing as a host was not being there personally on the most important day of the talks. And she couldn't help that because she was covered in glitter. But I think she should have at least observed and been ready to give signals for answers, because I believe it was suggested that that was the most important day of discussion, that there would be a lot of discussion. And so to leave that to a handmaiden, even as one she trusts as much as Sabe, and then like just disappear so she's not even listening, I was like, that this could go badly. I mean, I guess it didn't, but it was a little irresponsible, if you ask me. And rude to her guests.
But they didn't know.
But they didn't know.
They thought it was there.
They did, but that shows how little regard she has for what they're saying. In reality, if she doesn't find it important enough to be there listening herself, it tells me more about her than it does about them, I guess. Sorry, Ronald, your turn.
No, I was just giving you a little time because I think I was really thinking right there. I'm confusing the dinner with the summit with the...
You're talking about the whole thing though, right?
With the first...
The whole
everything,
together. The whole weekend, whatever it is.
Yeah, so the dinner, weekend. The summit,
okay.
everything.
Okay.
Do you need more time?
No, I'm just gonna go back to where I think for the arrival was really where, when I was reading the book and how they said, well, Amidala shouldn't have to be at the landing pad because she would have to go back and forth, greeting these guests, and as well as entertaining them on the way to the Theed Castle, or if that's what it's called.
Palace.
Theed Palace, excuse me. Yeah, you're right. Good, thank you for the correction. So me as a party guest, and things that I've seen in just every other party etiquette, the host is always supposed to be the first person you see. And I get it. From the palace to the landing platform is, I don't know how many miles it was, but it seemed like it was too hard for her to get back and forth. I think what she should have done is, this would have been a great time to have your handmaidens at the palace, see how your guests interact with each other. That's where you get your handmaidens to take all the notes and who's talking to who, what's sketchy, what's not. And then all you have to do is sit back and then stay at the platform, greet your guests. And that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to ride them all the way to the palace. Go back and
just stay there and let somebody else take them, but at least be there to greet them. That's smart. I like that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just, she's still getting to know all these outer planet individuals and aliens, and she doesn't really know them either, so get the recon first before you start the summit, and then play it where so that was just my one
and
thing.
Have your girls infiltrated, observing the first
put them
interactions.
to work,
Okay,
I was just like,
little spy network.
Yeah, because they're building this team. Like I was just like, man, like what's going on? Like you're gonna have Amidala like go back into the palace, and then she's stressed out. Like you wouldn't be stressed out if all you're doing was greeting. Um, did you want to go do more on her part? Maybe. But we don't know. That would just have to be how Amidala thinks. We'd have to ask her ourselves.
Oh, these are really good points. I really liked how she handled it, especially just being so young, and she planned it. I think she handled herself very well. I do have to disagree with you on that last day, Megan. I thought, she did the best she could, and they were like, oh, the gloves, oh no, that would be culturally insensitive. So I feel like they did the best that they could with the little amount of time and planning that they had. And it sucked that she did have to leave, but it was part of the disguise. So I do appreciate that they picked, even though, Sabe was the best for the disguise, I think she still made a good choice because she would respond the way that Padme would.
Yeah.
So I thought she did okay on that with such little time. If they had more time,
she should have found a way to stay in the room though. I don't know why she couldn't just be like, freaking Robbie, get over here, like take the message to the thing, like I can't leave right now.
Well, I mean,
I don't know why she couldn't find a solution to not go herself.
In the book, it said something about like it would be too suspicious if she passed it off to someone else, especially because she's a page, and that's what pages do. So I think she did the best under the circumstances that she had, although it would have been better if she could have been actual Amidala, but I think she did okay. Ronald, I never thought about that handmaiden thing, about them going to meet the other people, and I was like, you know what, that's really smart. That makes like perfect sense.
Well, so I'll tell you something. I got tired thinking of Amidala have to keep going back and forth from platform to like, who does that? Like, and
well, the guest said that they
literally I have had to at award shows. I've been in charge of entire groups of people that arrive at different times at the red carpet, and I have to, greet one of them getting out of their car. Here's the red carpet, run down, meet them at the end, get them to their seat, run back to the top of carpet, greet the next person. But the next person's already arrived. They're on the carpet. I got to greet them at the end. But then the next person's just arriving. So I got to run. And I have run back and forth. It's very unseemly. And a queen should never have to do that.
Especially in her big gown and everything. Yeah. So I like that they mentioned that the guest said it's okay that she doesn't greet everyone, but I think Ronald had a good point that have the handmaidens go, have like one or two handmaidens per guest that comes in, and then that way they can observe them ahead of time and be like, hey, we noticed this and this, so maybe when you're talking to them or interacting, avoid this or try, whatever, just observe it. I thought that was good. Smart. For the most part, I was really impressed. I was like, damn, a 14-year-old did all this. This is really good. Holy moons, she did great.
I think it was just a good idea from the start to have people over, to have this discussion when the past, 2 years or something, they had kind of not really talked to their neighbors. Yeah. And so just the motion of extending this invitation is a smart thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd give her props. I'd say 10 out of 10. You thought on your feet. You did really well. Could have been some changes, but for the most part, it was your first time. Props to you, Padme. All right, guys. So would you sneak out with your handmaidens for a concert?
Oh my gosh, no. No, I was so mad. The whole thing. I was like, this is why you don't make 14-year-olds queen of the freaking country. It's planet. I mean, like, are you serious right now? You can't just like put aside your little activities for a couple years and like be a responsible person and rule your planet. You've got all these delegates here and you're going to do this right now? Really? Like, for once, just don't. No, I mean, if I was a handmaiden, yeah, heck yeah, I'd be out there. If I was the queen, which I usually imagine myself, no, I'd be like, have fun. It would be irresponsible for me to leave in the middle of this and go do something crazy like that, especially when we have so many foreigners that we don't know a lot about in town, so I'm just going to stay here, get well rested, study up on everything I learned today, make sure I'm prepared for tomorrow, go have fun with my blessing. See you in the morning.
I like how this comes from the sneakiest person in this group.
What? What? Well, that's because I'm not in charge of things, so I can get away with it. But if I was in the leadership position, I'd have to take it a lot more seriously.
I'm trying really hard not to wheeze right now.
Don't wheeze.
It's well, no, this is a very good point. She, as queen and being a new queen, yeah, I think you have to be responsible to your duties to your planet. Um, but I read it and I said, like, what was her reason to go? And I feel like Amidala, this is the first time she's actually getting to, be with her. This is like becoming her besties in a sense, like that I'm gonna, kind of rebel and get out there and have fun. I don't think like 12 years of probably, if she started from a young age doing all the service, the volunteer work, the community service, whatever it is, the being a politician, or I think what she said in episode 2, she was in a program, right, where it's that she chose
Yeah,
to
young
be in politics.
diplomats kind
So
of
yeah,
thing.
right, correct. So I think for 12 years of her life, it's just been all that. It's been all work, and there's never been downtime to have any fun. And it doesn't seem like her and her sister did like this kind of stuff. So having how many of them now? Like 6, 7 of them, of the handmaidens. Um, what was it? 5? Oh yes, 5. And we're gonna get more, supposedly. Um,
Yeah, they come and go.
but is so I think it's like she's really getting her able to I don't know, unlock that and be free. Be free. Just
This is not the time for that, though. Like, you can do
It's-
that after your term is up. You signed
It's-
up for this, lady. Like, you can't just disappear in the middle of your summit and go do something irresponsible like that. You're the queen. If you want, you can tell that concert person to come play at the palace. Like, you don't have to sneak out. Like, I was not.
I don't want to say any of the past leadership roles I've done in the past. I don't want to get in trouble, but yeah, we've done like our fair share of like let's go out and unwind while we're at like this, this summit that we're in, because it's like even though it's that there's that time, you know 3 days of a summit, and in this case it's like what, a weekend. um it just seems like you do need that, like, I need to be out and free. There's just so many pressures everywhere, and even though that these pressures of Amidala wasn't written in this book, well, to me it was I didn't vision it, but from past experience, I'm pretty sure that's where she's getting it. And like I said, I was already an adult, or nearly a young adult, when I did that, in my during our summit. Amidala is still a teen, and from a young age, if she does this, and if she were going to be queen, till she becomes a young adult, I don't think she'll do it once she's a young adult already, because she'll be like, oh, I experienced that as a teen, I already did that kind of stuff.
But if you can excuse her because of her age, then why is that an acceptable age for a monarch, for the ruler of a planet? Why would you elect somebody that's going to have these youthful, rebellious inclinations? At that point, just get somebody who's gotten it out of their system. Elect a 25-year-old,
But not every young person is like that.
No, but if you're going to use the fact that she's young as the excuse for why she wants to go let loose and have some fun, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I tried to read it from that perspective. I was really trying to get in Amidala's mind of why she decided she was just gonna go. Um, I think when I ended up, just deciding, well, if I were Amidala, what would I would do, kind of thing. It would be that, like, from my past experience. But I couldn't really, I couldn't get in her mind of thinking of why she wanted to go. I
But
I
would
don't have
you,
a clear
Ronald?
answer
Would
for it.
you go?
Yeah, like I said, because I've done it, so I probably would have gone.
Guilty.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, I don't hide it because like it really is. It's like there's some, uh, for me, if it were thinking in her mindset and my mindset is, you have all these pressures of what's, just not just from these people from the other planets or these other politicians from the other planets. You have to worry about everything else from your own planet, as well as your own government, to your handmaidens. Like there's just all these pressures already, and I think she needed that, and I'm glad she got that. She wasn't as smooth, I think. It could have been smoother, because literally I didn't get caught, she did.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been so much smoother in this book, like if like Amidala didn't get caught. But I mean, if you say it, I guess if teens come, they get caught. And she got caught.
Amateurs.
So you would sneak out?
But I would definitely, yeah,
Ronald
I
would
would
do
definitely
it.
sneak out.
So
What a
Megan
rebel.
wouldn't, Ronald would.
All right, Jazz, let's
Hell yeah, I would.
let the
Why not?
defense.
I mean, my thing
As
is,
if we need to ask.
well, I mean, you know me. I don't do it. My dad had to pay me to leave the house because I was that much of a nerd in high
Go
school and in
have
college.
some fun. Jeez.
I just stay chilling at home, reading with video game. Yeah, guys, I was that much of a nerd. Sorry, mom and dad. At least I didn't do drugs, so that's a good thing.
There you
But
Well, don't do
Dude,
drugs. That's just the
don't
thing.
do drugs, kids. Be a nerd like me. It's easier in life. But
Read Star Wars books.
read Star Wars books.
Um,
But I mean, if I had that much of a sisterhood with them, and I got really close with them, and I could trust them that we could take care of each other, we knew what we were doing. Holy hell, grappling hook in all caps in my notes, grappling hook.
Are you crazy?
I'd be like,
That's-
yeah, why not? I mean, I don't even want to chalk it up to age, but more she wants to have, I mean, so for Padme, it was kind of the jealousy thing, but for me, I was like, I'm that close with these girls and I could trust them with my lives in the palace. Why not trust them for a couple hours at a concert? It would be fun. It would be cool. It's only a couple
Now-
hours. It
now
would be
to-
a good memory.
to give
I would
a
do it.
little extension to your question, which is a good question, by the way. If you were the queen and you did go, would you have gotten caught?
I don't know if I would have gotten caught or not, because I mean they were
it
so
wasn't anything she did that got her caught, though. So
yeah, I mean it's not her fault that dumbass dad was like, let's put a sensitive sensor on the bed of a teenage
Yeah, it
girl.
wasn't- she didn't get caught.
So if it weren't for him forgetting that periods are a thing, they wouldn't have been caught. They would have been just fine, probably. Honestly, I think they would have gotten away with it. And I feel like if either of us were in that situation, we would have gotten away with it too, because
Oh heck yeah,
something so small and
I
weird.
definitely would have got away with it.
Yeah. So
I say this thinking back on the fact that I have actually told my team members that I am the manager over, we're leaving work early to go to a concert. You're coming with me. I'm like, wait a minute, am I a hypocrite? Or to go to happy hour. Yeah, I'm the worst. I actually am. Okay.
that actually sounds awesome. Like you're boosting morale and
Yeah, exactly.
and all that.
See, you do think like a queen. So
See, you think like these teenage girls.
Oh, great.
So don't chalk it up to age, because I'm pretty sure you weren't 14 when you did
But
that.
my position is a little bit less important than
But you're still
the
in
ruler.
charge and doing important things.
I guess.
See, you just wanted to bond and have fun. There is nothing wrong with that. I think that's good for team building, honestly.
good. Okay, that actually paints a better picture for me, and trying to figure out why she went. But so that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to bond. So
Yeah.
I'll take it.
All right, guys, ready for this last one?
Ready.
All right. She's got that smile though that makes me think.
I just want to listen to what you guys have to say about this because I think it's going to be very funny.
Okay.
Hopefully, don't
I'm ready.
disappoint me. Don't disappoint me, guys.
Do my best.
So, if you guys were in Padme's shoes, would you have kissed Harley, or would you have done anything differently? Because when I read that, I was like, "Oh snap!"
I think she was trying so hard to like keep her head down, Hood. Like this is somebody who could find out the secret, who could be like, wait a minute. Especially she's got the glitter, like she's got markers that this is not Sabe, and this is somebody who would know Sabe better than probably the average person there. So if she had gotten any closer or spent any more time talking to her, the risk of her getting discovered would have been so much higher. And especially you don't know a lot about these people. They're strangers. They're here not really as adversaries necessarily, but they're people that are here looking out for their interests against your own. And so to reveal one of your most security based secrets, risk getting discovered. Nah, she should have got out of there faster than she did. Like she should have pretended to be sick and run away. Like,
So
yeah,
you would have tried to just leave faster.
oh yeah, I'd have been like, I don't know who you are, bye. Like, it was too risky, way too risky.
Let's see here. Would I first?
Yeah, what would you do, Ronald?
I probably have the same reaction Padme did, because this is the type of where Padme's to be able to think off her feet. And remember how we talked about like thinking off the fly? This totally caught her off guard. Now, if we go back to that question, it's like, yeah, those are the little things. Even things like that have to be in your arsenal, where you have to be ready. Like and I think she needs to improve that. If I were in this situation, that's something I would need to improve too, because I would have had that same reaction. I would have just been like, no, and then walk away, because it's just, what do I say to that? I mean, that's every reaction, or I mean, wouldn't that be anybody's reaction? Because all Padme is thinking, I'm trying to listen to the summit. I'm making sure like what Sabe is gonna, answer in the summit, it has to be on point, because even though there wasn't going to be a dinner, this was the most important part of the summit. But to go back to that that situation and that reaction of Padme, yeah, like you have to be ready. I don't think I would have been ready at that point too, that because it wasn't in Padme's mind that was going to happen.
Yeah,
and
she's used to pretending to be herself,
right?
But she's not used to having to pretend to be someone else. And that makes me, did it explain why she didn't just say, oh hey, no, hey, it's Padme, you got us mixed up?
Well, because she wasn't being Padme, she was being some random page, remember?
But Padme is a random page.
Was it? I don't remember that.
Yeah, like that's who she is when she's playing Handmaiden Padme, is she's just rando page.
But like, did it say the name Padme? That I don't remember.
I think like early on when they were first like, oh, and then when you're not, if you want to come along in Handmaiden, you can just be Padme the page, and then we'll all have similar names, and no one will know the difference.
Maybe she didn't specify who she was because she was afraid that Harley would ask too many questions. Like, well, if you're this page, where's Sabe?
But it would be so much easier to make up an excuse for why Sabe's not there that day than it would be to pretend to be her and run away. I don't know. Maybe she's not good at thinking on her feet.
And that's why I say, I think that's something, and maybe that's a strength she'll be able to think off the fly quick, no matter what situation. Like I said, it could have been a total different situation that presented her at that time, but now we know, like, she can't think off the fly because you know, that's her. I think it was in a reaction that set off an emotion that's just, I need to walk away and buy. But like I said, I would probably have that same reaction as well.
I think if I were her, because when I was reading it, I was like, what would I do? I was thinking, okay, if she thinks I'm Sabe, I'm not going to spend a bunch of extra time being like, oh no, well, here's a lie about where Sabe is. Because then the more she has to explain something, the longer she's there, the worse it could be. The more chance for Harley to realize, glitter on your hands.
You're that other girl.
Yeah. So I think if I were in her shoes, I would just say, I have to get back, meet me in whatever hours, still pretending to be Sabe. And she could be like, oh, Sabe, your girl's waiting for you. She thought I was you. I didn't want to.
Yeah, quick switch.
Yeah. So I think just to get out of there quicker, but not draw too much suspicion and not hurt the guest, I would just be like, I can't talk right now. I'm doing this important thing. Meet me at whatever hours.
Mm-hmm.
Just relay the message back to Sabe, and then Sabe could just figure something out later. But I feel like it'd be a quick way for her to get out without exposing herself, without offending or hurting the guest. Because you never know. What if Harley is so mad about the way Sabe treated her? She's like, I don't want to deal with Naboo, blah, blah, blah. You never know. Some people are that petty and emotional. So
this is why you don't elect 13-year-olds.
I'm not saying her. I'm saying Harley. Harley's not even elected, but she's here as a representative. And
this is why you don't send young people as your representatives. At the beginning of this book, I thought maybe this culture, they actually raise people to be really mature at that age, but clearly not. They're just average, like 14-year-olds.
But this is
like shocking.
But Harley's from a different culture. So.
I know, and she's still the same.
So that's why I would just be like, hey, I really have to go. Meet me at this time.
I think that's a great solution. Be like, freaking, I'm in the middle of work right now. Like, meet me later. Bye.
Like you're gonna kiss me at work? What the hell? That's
like, I don't got time for this. I'm on a job right now. What are you doing?
Right.
And then run away.
You know, with the politicians and the monarchy there, like, it's, you have to stay professional in this sense. Like, it's very
if anything, Harley was the rude one.
Do that in times where it's you know, after, like I think Jasmine, you said after hours, that it's not in the time of the summit. To play in the summit, like I said, I still stick by it. Like Padme should have still think off the fly, and you know, you got to play it smooth.
Yeah, and frankly, to be honest, Sabe's reaction to this, I thought, was a total a-hole move. Like, I was like, you were top of my list, almost top. Rabbi's my favorite, but like Sabe and me, we were girls. But now I'm like, I kind of don't like you now. Like, the fact that she couldn't see that the person she's here to protect got cornered and was close to being exposed and needed to get out of there fast. And she's like, oh my gosh, you were mean. Like, what?
Well, think of
that. It's not even a concern right now.
Well, think about it. She only heard one side of the story, a very nasty side of the story.
Exactly. And she believed it. She didn't even say like, hey, what happened? What did you say to her? Like, she just immediately accused her. I was not happy with that.
Yeah, but then think about it. She wanted to stay the night in Padme's room, and you know, even if they didn't talk about it, she also wanted to smooth things over. I think she realized she jumped too quick to react. You know, that happens with a lot of people. Sometimes you're just like, man, I'm so angry about this, and then you kind of calm down and you're like, okay, no, let me take a step back and
then you talk about it, and she won't talk about it.
She will at some point. I mean, she wanted to stay in the room that night. I think that shows something. And, you know, I like that Padme said, I don't want to tell her to tell me. I want her to come to me when she's ready. I really appreciated that. I thought that was really mature.
No, that's a good way to handle it. The thing is, she's not talking to her. She's not coming to her about it. She's changing the subject.
Yeah, but some people want to have at least a little bit of privacy. Think about it.
Then why is she staying in her room? Why is she making that gesture but not going all the way and saying, all right, let's talk about this. Let's figure this out. Let's smooth things over. Let's get both sides of the story. But instead of saying, I want to be here, but have it be like really tense. It just, I don't know. She's not handling it well. I don't like it.
Everyone
Well,
handles things differently.
This week's poll, who do you think was right? Was it Sabe
Team
or
Sabe
Padme?
versus Team Padme.
This is this week's poll, brought to you by the Sexy Wookiee Squadron. And get out and vote.
Oh my- I mean, it's true. Go vote.
Just turned it into that. Oh my gosh.
Your vote matters. Go vote.
If
for
you
the
can't get
Lama.
to the polls, at least vote in our poll.
Yep.
Team Sabe versus Team Padme.
Go vote in the actual election and then come back and vote here.
Vote in ours
Boom.
first.
Well, I want to thank everybody for the support. Hope you liked this week's episode. Please check us out on all our social medias. We'll be out there, and definitely we will see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for flying with us.
Sexy